So this one night when I went to bed, I had a dream, right? That I was in like I was just like walking through like this suburban neighborhood. It was like the middle of the night, and I did not recognize this place. I've never been to this place before. It didn't even look like I was in the same town because I'm pretty familiar with the town I live in. This is some place I've never even seen before, like ever. And I'm just standing on the sidewalk and I'm looking around wondering what is this place? How did I even get here? I'm about to call an Uber, so I pulled my cell phone out of my pocket and I'm like trying to catch a lift. I pulled up the map on my phone, and it was just showing the map. It wasn't showing me where I was though. It was like buffering. My phone was like buffering, like I was in a bad location or something. So I said, what the hell is going on? Like, this is weird. My phone never did this. Not on this app. So I turned and looked behind me, and it was like these two old ladies. They were like older women. They looked like you know how women used to dress when they go to church, how they used to wear the sundresses with their feather hats and stuff like that. They were dressed like that. They were dressed like old school churchgoers. And they looked very identical. They didn't look exactly alike. They looked like they were related though. They looked like they could be sisters. They had to be in their mid-50s or so. They were much older than me. And I had asked them, I said, hey, could either of you, I don't know what I was wondering what they were doing out there too, because besides me, they seemed to be the only two people out there, and it was in the middle of the night, and they were walking on the sidewalk just like me. I thought that was weird, but I didn't really care. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to I wanted to leave this place. I want to go home. So I asked them, I said, can any one of you tell me where am I? Where is this place? I'm trying to get back home. I'm trying to call a lift, but my phone isn't working. I said, can y'all help me? And they just were like, you need to come with us. I'm like, what? Like, no, I don't want to go with you. I want to go home. What are you talking about? And then, like, that's what one of them said. And then the other one said, we need to go to that house over there across the street. She was like pointing. She was like pointing to the house across the street. It looked like an ordinary suburban neighborhood. There was rows of houses on both sides of the street, and she pointed to the house that was directly on the corner of that street. It was the last house on the corner. She said, we need to go over there. And I'm like, yo, like, again, I told her, I don't know who you are or what you're talking about, but I need to get home. You have a phone I can use? And she was like, trust me, we have to do this. We need to go now. And I said, what the heck are you talking about? I was getting frustrated. I'm like getting frustrated with these two ladies because they're not helping me and they're not telling me where I am. And I said, you know what, fine. Y'all want me to go with y'all to this house across the street right there? Fine, I'll go. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, whoever lives in that house, I'm gonna get them to call a lift or call me a taxi or something. I mean, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm not with you. I'm going to make it clear that these two ladies, I don't know who they are, and I don't know what they want. I have nothing to do with that. I just want to go home. So that's what I did. I walked over there. I walked across the street to this house with them. It was a big house. It was a really big house, a nice house. They knocked on the door, rung the doorbell. Nobody answered. And then one of the two ladies opened the front door. And I'm like, yo, like, she's tripping. Like, what are you doing? And they both walked inside. And I'm still standing on the porch. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just so confused, man. I don't know what's going on. I said, you know, I'm going to walk inside too. I'm going to see if anyone's here, and I need to get out of here. I don't know these ladies, man. Like, yo, I'm not with them. I did not break into your house. I'm trying to get out of here. I don't know who I am. So when I walked inside, like the first room that you enter when you walk through the house is the living room. And one of the ladies, she was like walking around, she was like looking around in the living room. She was like examining the pictures and stuff. I'm like, what is she doing? And then the other lady, it was like a long hallway, like going towards the back of the house. And then there was a flight of stairs on my right. The other lady, she walked towards the back of the house. She walked through the living room and she started walking towards the back of the house. And there didn't seem to be anyone on the first floor. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I know this is crazy what I'm about to do, but I'm going to actually go upstairs and see if anyone's up there. And the lady I was standing in the living room, she said, okay. And that's what I did. I started walking up. I walked upstairs to the second floor. There was nobody up on the second floor. I walked upstairs to the third floor. It was a 3-story house. And it was like three doorways. The doors were closed, but one of them was cracked open. I could see the light reflecting from behind the door. So I pushed the door open, and there was this girl. Man, this was bizarre. There was a girl standing in the room, and she was like staring at the wall. She saw me enter the room, but she didn't seem to be bothered by me like whatsoever. And then I noticed how she was dressed. She was wearing a blue sundress with like a bonnet. She was wearing a blue bonnet on her head. She was dressed like someone from like the 1800s. She had shoulder pads on. She was actually wearing shoulder pads and everything. And I'm like, this is going to be a long night. I just didn't know what was going on, man. So the girl looked at me, and the wall that she was looking at, she pointed to the wall. She looked at me, and then she pointed to the wall. So I went and stood next to her to see what she was looking at. And I looked at this wall. There was like a plaque. There was like a little small plaque. It was maybe a couple of feet long, 2 feet. But it had a list of names on it. It had like a whole bunch of names on it. And these names are the names of these people. I'm sorry, it is so hot out here today. It was a bunch of names of people. And it showed their date of birth and their date of death. All of the people, all of those names that was on that plaque, all of those people were dead. Every last one of them. And I'm just shaking my head like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting scared. This is like getting more and more creepy by the minute. So I'm looking like I like kind of cut my eyes at the girl like, what the hell is this? Like, why are you showing me this and why are you dressed like that? Like, did you forget what era you're in or something? What's wrong with you? Where are your parents? Because this girl looked young, man. She looked like she was maybe, to me, she looked like she was maybe 18, 19 or something like that. She was a young girl, dressed really weird. So I looked at her. I didn't say nothing. I just kind of cut my eyes at her like, you know, like, why are you showing me this? And then she walked up to the plaque and she pointed to her name. She showed me her name. And then after she showed me her name, she started telling me about her whole life. And I remember being in shock because she pointed to her own name. Remember I said all of those names on that list were dead people. So the girl that's standing next to me is dead. And like, bro, I'm like wondering what the hell is going on. Am I dreaming? Is this not a dream? It didn't seem like I was dreaming. It felt like I was actually there, by the way. And like, I actually had my cell phone in my hand and it still wouldn't, I still couldn't get it to work. It was like buffering. It was like, you know, it was like a dot on the screen spinning on the Google Maps. I couldn't get my phone to respond. I couldn't even make any phone calls. It was like I was in a bad location. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm like, I don't want to ask this girl to call a lift because she seems to not even know what time zone she's in. Like, that's out of the question with her. But like I said, this is when she started telling me about her life and everything that led up to her death. You know, she got married. She was actually 20 years old. She was 20 years old when she died. She got married really young. Her husband was abusive. He actually killed her. And I felt sorry for her, you know. But I just want to go home. I'm not sure if this is even a real thing. I'm not sure this is actually happening. These things doesn't happen every day. So she pointed to like the left side corner of the room. This is like a big room. She pointed to the left side corner of the room. And I looked. And bro, I kid you not. It's kind of scared me. It was like 30 or 40 people standing in the corner of that room. They were standing like in the dark. They were like packed in that corner like sardines. And they were just standing there watching us, me and her. None of them were moving. It was really weird. They weren't moving. They were stiff. And one at a time, they will walk up and they will point to their name on this plaque that was on the wall. And they did the same thing that she did. Each one of them, they started telling me their life story from the time of their birth to the time of their death. This girl, the first girl that I spoke to, the one that was wearing the blue sundress and the bonnet, she was born in the 1800s. There were people from different points in time. There were people from this point in time. There were people who had just like recently died, like a month or two ago. It was like different dates. It was weird, man. It was like people from different points in time, all in this room, telling me about their lives, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I actually sat there and I listened to each one of them for some reason, man. I just wanted to leave, but I couldn't leave because I didn't know how to get home. I didn't know where I was and I didn't know how to get back home. And this went on all the way up until I just finally woke up. And I remember thinking about that dream, wondering what the hell was that, man? because when I had this dream, I had this dream like about 3 or 4 years ago. Once again, this was before I knew anything about spiritual stuff. I had a calling. That was the Most High reaching out to me. He was letting me know that my time was near. It was time for my calling. But during that time, I didn't understand that at all. I didn't know what that was about. It was just things were just happening, yo. It seemed like that whole year between 2020 and 2021, it was a lot of spiritual things happening with me, man. And I didn't understand any of it. It was like constantly, man. Especially the sleep paralysis. The sleep paralysis was damn near every night. And it used to scare me because sometimes whenever I fall into sleep paralysis, I end up getting dragged down to hell. And I hate that place. So pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the messages. You have to understand your purpose. You have to be available to answer your calling. But you have to actually understand that's what's happening, because some people, they pass away before they even get that chance. They never get the chance to respond to their calling. I was fortunate. That's why I love the Most High, man. He never gave up on me, because I did a lot of bad things. I wasn't a bad person, but I've done some bad things. I'm not perfect. So just be aware of self and be ready. Always be ready. You never know when the day will come, for the day is here, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.